Hello everybody. I'm really happy to be here today and share with you a decade of experience treating seniors with medical cannabis. Getting older, it's never been an easy task, and even in this day, it seems to be more challenging. The increase in life expectancy is usually followed by coping with severe illness and low quality of life. Indeed, treatment with modern medication prolong life, but in many cases will not improve quality of life. For many years, I was caring for patients and felt helpless due to the clinical outcomes from the pharmaceutical treatment. Today, more than ever, I feel it's my obligation to search and find solutions that will provide a cure and relief for the elderly population. Today, I will share with you my decade-long experience treating seniors with medical cannabis and how I got to establish Neomedic Healthcare and Research Company, and I will conclude sharing you with some of the research detail. After running a nursing home for years in 2009, I was first introduced to the term medical cannabis. Trying to learn more, I reached out to Professor Rafael Meshulam, the patriarch of the modern medical cannabis research, and together we started the Adarim project. In first-of-its-kind project, we evaluated the effects of medical cannabis on nursing patients under a supervision of multidisciplinary team. Together, we chose 6 potentially treatable conditions common in the geriatric population. And as you can see, it was insomnia, pain, appetite, cognitive behavior, and more. The results were very exciting. It was clear that the patients become less agitated and less spastic, the nutritional index improved, and pain complaints, opiate use were reduced. After the great success of Adarim project, I established in 2010 the first nurses' clinic for consulting patients on effective and safe usage medical cannabis, in collaboration with Tikkun Olam, the first medical cannabis grower in Israel. During our work, we collect data in order to examine the effects of different strains on different diseases and symptoms. Once again, the results were very exciting. It was clear that the patients had a reduction in pain and demonstrate increased quality of life. At the end of 2016, we established Neomedic. Neomedic is a multidisciplinary geriatric clinic which combines superior conventional medicine integrate with the state-of-the-art medical cannabis treatment. Each patient in Neomedic goes through a comprehensive medical assessment by a multidisciplinary medical team which follow up on the patient's medical condition and indexes. Thanks to our extensive work, we are able to develop novel treatment method, patient guidance program. Well, medical cannabis is known to be effective in many medical conditions. It's still safety, it's still concern, especially with the geriatric population. And what I mean that the cannabis is not the concern, the issue is how to combine with all the medication and when to start and how to start. Our team is working around the clock to identify and study this issue. We treat multiple disease and syndrome in a different medical fields. Just to name few, we see relief in many geriatric symptoms and conditions such as internal disease, cognitive behavioral and mood disorder, nutrition and sleep disorder, pain, inflammation, and more. In general, we found that combined medical cannabis allows us to cut off medications like opiate, benzodiazepine, and antipsychotic. Every week, we see exciting clinical outcome from our patients. Now, I would like to show you a short movie about a lady. She was 97 years old, and she suffered from a severe dementia, and she was very, very specific. We couldn't move her arm. Look on the eyes when she started to look on the caregiver and look at the arm. Look at the arm. Okay, so this lady came to our department, and this was a position, as I told you, and then I called Professor Mishulam, and he said that from his experience, it's going to help because he knows a friend that told him about multiple sclerosis, and we start treat her at 4 o'clock afternoon, and they called me at night and said, come to see Rushka, she's making Tai Chi. All her hand was all over, and look on her hand, it was incredible result. Our research activity is led by Professor Victor Novak, who is also the head of the research and second biggest hospital in Israel and medical director of clinical research at Harvard University. One of the most common symptoms is pain. Most people over age 65 experience pain. Pain has such an adverse effect on patients' life that is considered not to be just a symptom, but a rather an actual disease. Cannabis can help treat pain in two ways. One, lowering the intensity to the pain, and the other, how we perceive pain. Many studies have shown that cannabis can significantly lower the intensity of the pain. Cannabis can also helping to cope with the pain and able to live with it. And what I mean is, the patient said, but the pain is there, but I don't care. It's not there all the time. It's make me to be activity. It's let me be free from pain. But yes, the pain is there. There are three types of pain: neuropathic pain, which is caused by diabetic nerve damage or pressure or post-chemo treatment. Neuropathic pain is very challenging because there are no pharmaceutical solution for it, and the patient are forced to live with it. Cannabis helps treat neuropathic pain by supporting the central nerve system, and patients report significant improvement. Orthopedic pain is also very common and caused by different conditions such as disc herniation, spinal stenosis, osteoporosis, and more. Skeletal pain in chest and cause severe agony. We know that cannabis helps reduce the pain through the calcium channel and blocking the pain signal to the brain. Lastly, rheumatic pain is caused by arthritis, polymyalgia rheumatica, fibromyalgia. In addition, I just mentioned how it helps by pain. We know that cannabis is anti-inflammatory, and the result come from there. Now I would like to show you a lady. She's 88 years old. She came to our department with a severe arthritis. She was on a wheelchair under opiate treatment, and she asked to die. She came to us and she said, I don't want to live anymore. I have enough to handle with the pain. In the beginning, we start with a variety of CBD and THC together. This was the first time that we tested on patients, let's see her what she's telling us, and then I'll tell you what's going on with her today. Oh, I'm sorry, just read. I don't know what's happened to the voice. She get up from the wheelchair and she start to walk, and the health government came to our department and said, listen, now she's not need any more help, so we want her to go home. So she became so independent. She came to the clinic 1 year ago with a letter from a rheumatologist that she don't have any evidence of arthritis, of infection. For 4 years, she's not suffering from arthritis anymore. Another common symptom that is very common at the elderly age is sleep disorder. Sleep disorder is segmented into falling asleep and maintain quality of sleep. Conventional medication that we prescribe today leads to a numerous of side effects that have long-term adverse effects, such as risk for fall, fatigue, and potentially dementia. Cannabis has shown help with the symptoms associated with depression and anxiety by supporting each these symptoms and other described earlier. Treating depression and anxiety with medical cannabis tend to be more complex since incorrect usage can lead to a worsening of the symptoms. We're going to see now a few of our patients that share with us the experience and what they're feeling about the cannabis they treat of. Oh, but what about the This is Dov, he's 97 years old. He has a very severe neuropathic pain. He uses it by vape, as you can see. He's using THC indica strain. This is what we found out that the best of the pain. Lily, she's taking drops, cannabis drops. She suffers from arthritis, a very severe, under a lot of medication. On that time, she's not using any medication, only cannabis. This is Lily. She has a very severe spinal stenosis. She's 90 years old. I've got to tell you that 6 months ago she fell down in a house and she broke the total hip. We was really concerned about if she can handle an operation, and I believe and I knew she can do it. So anyway, they decided to operate her, and now she's independent again at home. She's walking. She had any complication problem after the operation. We saw that she was strong and healthy, and she's over the operation. It was very, very exciting. This is Noah. Noah suffered from severe depression for many years. The medication doesn't help anymore, and she asked for help. She said, just make my life a little bit easier. So what she's doing, because a habit is to smoke, Israeli use tobacco too. So we cut off using cigarette at all, and she smoked by a very special pipe, the cannabis, and I've got to tell you that a life becomes, she's playing with the grandchildren, she's going, she fly for traveling, she's not at the bed. The funny joke that she's telling here in the movie is how to handle with she call it the munchies, the time that she craved for food, and it's like very anecdotal. So this is our patients, and how can you see I fly all over to share with you how important is to try and let try the elderly population to use cannabis. We go just quickly about the boring details. So safety and efficacy. As you can see, cannabis, the side effect is a very small compared to the medication that we know is not dangerous and is not toxic. So, of course, it's side effect. Everything you take can cause side effect. The side effect sometimes can worsen the situation. We need to handle and to do it in the correctly way. But like I read again today the side effect, and it's been writing there euphoria. Euphoria is side effect of the cannabis. I'm telling you, my heart now is broken, and I want some euphoria. I wish it's going to be all the side effects. So what I mean to say that the side effect is very, very small. Don't be worried. Physiological side effect, as we talk about, so it's fatigue and dizziness. Again, if we take and consume too much THC, it can cause an anxiety and bad feeling. It's not dangerous usually, but it can cause a fear, and even sometimes patients don't want to experience anymore. So for the beginning, it's very important to do it in the correctly way to build the trust between you and the patient. Okay, so as you know, like overdose of cannabis, the regular symptoms that we can find is fatigue, confusion, sugar blood down in level, and of course an anxiety or bad thoughts or fear. What we need is to give them to drink glucose, help the brain, and to be with them for a good experience. Okay, so this is the detail on our patients in a clinic. I'm just going to share with you the highlights, the very important highlights. So we treat patients from 65 until 100. You see the gender, you see all the information. The most important isn't drug, it's the cannabis. Give us the opportunity to cut off medication, look at the number, to see old patients stop taking opiates and proliferate it again without the cannabis. But you cannot cut off medication and to leave the patient with pain. So we need to do it together, slowly, to start titration with cannabis and slowly to go down with the opiate. Since we finish the titration down with the opiate, the patient, his mood, his cognitive become better. Cannabis support the pain, support the situation, support the brain, and it's the great idea. And I can share with you that we have 2 clinics in California that we established before 6 months ago, and the problem there about the opiates, it's a very, very concern, and people able to cut off slowly with a good physician and good nurses that make us able to do it, and this is our obligation. Okay, this is the last one. Actually, I put it because you see only 6% of our patients have psychoactive sensation. It's nothing compared to different medication. It's very a few of them, and I just want to give you the trust and the honest that do it right. Start slowly, go slowly, and the result will come. I want to thank you very much. I want to thank Buja for hosting us, a beautiful host, and I send my love to you. Thank you. a question. Yes? Yes, please. Oh, you need to give him, okay?
Trenutek. Just a short question or addition. You mentioned 3 sorts of pains. I know the 4th one, herpes zoster, which is quite frequent among elderly because the resistance falls down. Do you have any experience with herpes zoster and pain reduction with cannabinoids?
I understand the question. You mean it's not in the acute time, it's if it's up in the damage after the herpes zoster. Or so I have a 2 answer. Like in the United States, they called me once, and a lady, like she was 90 years old, and they told us that now she have a severe pain in the back, and a physician said that because she has spinal stenosis, of course it's pain and it's more pain. What he didn't do, he didn't take the shirt out. And when I came to see her, I took the shirt out, and then I saw all the rash, and that it was sure that it was herpes zoster, and we start with the medication and with cannabis. So first of all, we didn't use hard medication for pain. Second, after 7 days, a caregiver called us and she said now she's feeling tired. It seems to be too much. Why it was too much is because she didn't have that hard pain. So now it was too much. It was just, we took down the doses, and until now she's very, very old, but she's able to walk, to eat, to sleep. She have a great result. For nerve problem and nerve pain, it's a very good opportunity, and I'm sure Dr. Johnny Greenfield will talk to you more deeply about how it's working with the nerve. But absolutely, in Israel we're not allowed to ask for acute herpes zoster. We're not allowed to recommend cannabis, only for chronic pain. So people that have already a nerve damage, we can treat them by cannabis. Sometimes it's too late.
Yes, I forget. I just want to add something because it can be a substitute for opioids, analgesics, and right now we know in the United States we have a big opioid epidemic, and more than 50,000 or something of death, and also in Slovenia patients with herpes zoster, usually what they are prescribed is tramadol, and the result was that last year we have a few deaths because of tramadol, of course, with combination with other drugs. So I think cannabinoids, especially CBD, can be excellent substitute for analgesics, and we shouldn't be afraid to prescribe this instead of analgesics, who are death-threatening, causing death, but cannabis not. Okay.
Yeah, very sad and very common. I have to say that the opportunity to treat immediately this lady is because in California there is full legalization, so the patient can start immediately, and this is what we hope is going to be all over the world. Yes, please.
Excuse me, maybe I have missed the information, but I would like to ask you which strain of cannabis you used, sativa or indica? Thank you.
Okay, so first of all, we're not a grower, we don't have cannabis, we just clinics, we don't grow, we don't have any product. In Israel, we have at the moment 8 companies that grow and produce the cannabis. Now is a new regulation in Israel, so it's very hard for us to know exactly what's in there, but they promise us that we're going to have all the analysis of what we give them at the moment. But until now, we know the strain and the variety of the compound of the cannabinoid, and this is what we compare to the patient. So it's different strain, it's different combination, it's not one answer. And the idea is to identify now what's work best on what kind of the disease. This is what we're doing and crossed by research, and I'm sure we're going to have the answer in the future. About the sativa and indica, I have to tell you that it's very hard to see if it's the different, because now they're all hybrid, and like if I can tell you about 10 years ago the sativa was more clear, you can understand the reaction. Now it's a lot of mix, so it's a little bit hard to know if it's exactly indica or sativa. The issue is to understand the narrative of the patients and what exactly he needs, and then to identify the needs and to make the combination with the cannabis.
Jaz bi postavila v slovenščini vprašanje, če lahko. Povedali ste, da imate na vaši kliniki Povedali ste, da imate na vaši kliniki izjemne rezultate glede revmatoidnega artritisa. Pa bi vas vprašala, ali je kakšna razlika oziroma kaj priporočate za tovrstne bolnike, kapljice ali opozitorije? Ali imate že raziskave, kako se pacienti odzivajo na to? Kaj priporočate glede tretmana oziroma zdravljenja, daljše obdobje, in pacienti sprašujejo, ker se bojijo, ali lahko to povzroča kakšno odvisnost oziroma slabšo kakovost življenja. Hvala lepa.
So the question is about arthritis, what we provide for arthritis, and if we see any, and what we see there, and if it can cause for chronic use, if it can cause addicted and any problem. So the answer about arthritis, what we're doing at the moment is we collect the blood test before using and after using. We collect all the cytokinin, all the marker in the blood, and the CRP and more. And sometimes we see it on the blood test, but not sometimes. I mean, not always. We can see a very good outcome of the symptoms, like it's not swallow, it's not hurt. In the morning, usually they wake up with a stiffness in the morning, so when they use the THC, they're able to move. So it supports the symptoms. And I have to say, and to clear myself, the knowledge at the moment all over the world, we don't know yet how to treat the problem, how to it's not evidence yet about the anti-inflammation, but we know the way. We see the result on the clinical outcome, and sometimes, as I told you, and we see it more that the infection index go down. About if the CBD or THC, we believe in the entourage effect. We believe it's supposed to be a lot of cannabinoid there, and there is a special or terpenes that more effective on infection. And altogether, this is what works. And yes, the question is very common. If I start to treat myself by cannabis, if I need it for my end of my life. So if the problem is chronic as arthritis, so the answer is yes. When we try to stop, usually after a couple of months, we close the endocannabinoid system, something happen, and then the problem come back slowly again. So yes, it's chronic until now. Okay, this is my answer. יש שם עוד מישהו ששואל? There's another one. Yes? Okay. Okay.
Moje vprašanje bo v slovenščini. Predavateljici se zelo zahvaljujem za zelo poučno in uporabno predavanje. Sicer sem onkologinja. Ja, last question. Sem onkologinja, moj priimek je Červek, nekateri me že poznate. Mogoče lahko predavateljica še pojasni malo podrobneje o medicinski konoplji, ki so jo uporabljali. Zanima me razmerje približno splošno med THC in CBD in mogoče ena taka splošna dnevna terapevtska doza THC-ja in CBD-ja v medicinski konoplji. Lepa hvala.
Okay, this question, I'm sure Dr. Johnny Greenfield, that is that treat oncological patients, have the correct answer. The question is what we provide for cure cancer and what the doses, and when we stop the treatment, what we can, how many doses we need to provide after. So I can tell you about the research at the moment. Again, in Israel, there is the first biggest lab in the world that Professor Dedi Meiri is check cancer cells on Patrick plant. It's still on Patrick plant. It's never started yet, Dr. Johnny on human. So I'm sure you're going to have the answer more. What we're doing with cancer patients, we support the symptoms, the nausea, the fatigue, the pain. We know how to handle with the opiate together. Sometimes it's a very good synergist between them. The palliative care, we not treat patients. We know about it from the literature and from the evidence that sometimes we have a great result and people cure themselves, and this is a very come from all over the world. I have 5 patients that success this treatment and they have a very good result with cancer. So again, I just leave this question for Dr. Johnny Greenfield.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hvala tudi vam, Inbal, Sikorin. Good luck on the trip back to Israel.
I just want to thank again to Boja and his great team for all this, what you're doing for us. Thank you very much. And I say here on the stage, Boja, whatever you need, I'm here. I'm in Israel. I just come 3 hours, 40 minutes, and I'm here.